Last winter, I picked up, actually through your marketing, I found this book. It was offered to educators for $5.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'll get that book. I'm really curious about the
Yeah,
book.
good.
And it comes close to our philosophy of our program. And I thought, well, let me read what he's meaning by this. And why did you? So my question is, because so far we're using it, find it very valuable, but wonder what was motivating you to put this new spin on what
Well,
travel's about.
Yeah, that travel as a political act is the latest sort of evolution in my teaching. And you know, when I cross the border, they say, what's your job? What's your occupation? I say, teacher. I still fancy myself as a teacher. And for 30 years, I've been teaching Americans how to travel smartly and thoughtfully in Europe. Now, if I follow the evolution of my teaching, and I'm an independent, self-employed kind of guy. I can teach whatever I want. You've hired me to come here tonight and give a talk. I can talk about anything I want, you know. And I just follow how my teaching has gone, where my heart has been in my teaching for the last 30 years. And, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? It's
Right.
the pyramid, and creatures, humans or animals or whatever, are going to take care of their bottom needs first. Food, clothing, safety, roof over your head. And then you can entertain yourself, and you can be creative, and then you can be altruistic and fulfilled or whatever. You got that sort of evolution. And my teaching has sort of done its own traveler's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For the first decade of my teaching, 1980s, it was all about budget travel tips. It was Europe through the back door,
Right.
you know, how to catch the bus, how to get a good train pass, where to find a good hotel in a youth hostel or whatever. And then in the 90s, I thought, well, that's taken care of. In the 90s, I wrote a book called Europe 101, History and Art for Travelers. And my passion was trying to inspire and equip Americans to properly enjoy the history, the art, appreciate the culture, the cuisine, the wine, all that kind of stuff. So that was the 90s, and that was Europe 101. And then ever since 9/12, my real teaching energy has been in helping Americans gain a broader perspective through their travels. We're just 4% of this planet, and we're seeing right now this talk of exceptionalism, you know, that we are an exceptional 4%. Only if you've never been out of this country would you believe we're an exceptional 4%. I don't want to sound unpatriotic. I'm American through and through, but I'm smart enough to know we're not exceptional. We're good, but there's other people who are good too, you see. And from a Christian point of view, you know, a lot of people say, God bless America. Well, that is so counter to Christian basic beliefs. God created all the people on this planet, not just the Americans. And he's not a parent that loves some kids more than others. And maybe these kids have to get out and get to know the family a little more, you see.
Yeah.
So there's the irony, the sad irony of 9/11 is it causes the people who need to travel most to be less likely to travel. Because of fear and because of misguided patriotism and economic self-interest, they decide to stay home. Be patriotic, you know, stay home. I would argue, be patriotic. It's good for national security for us to better understand the rest of the world, so they have a tougher time demonizing us with their propaganda, and so our propaganda has a tougher time causing us to demonize the rest of the world. It's a very powerful thing in this day and age to get out and travel, and when you see so much fear rattling around in our society, it's clear to me fear is for people who don't get out very much. Your students who live and study in Italy, they're going to be less fearful after that experience rather than before that experience. And they'll probably be less fearful than their aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas who are thinking, oh, are you going to go over there? Didn't they just kidnap some girl? And what about the guy on the boat and all this kind of thing? You know, people got to get a grip when it comes to that. So I'm really sort of really excited about helping inspire people not just to travel, but to travel in a way that doesn't exaggerate the gap between us and them, but creates empathy and helps us connect and understand each other better. And for me, the conclusion of that book is the best souvenir you can bring home is a broader perspective.
Good.